All right. Hello, everyone who's ever here. Thank you for coming. Sarah, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me on your channel.
Yeah, it's I love both of your series, to be honest. I
Oh,
I
thank
really
you.
enjoy both of them. So that's usually how I kind of start out. It just whatever you want to tell us about each of your series.
Okay, sure. My first series was the Music Lovers Mystery Series, and that's a 3-book series. It's set in my hometown of Vancouver, British Columbia, and the first book is called Dead Ringer. See, and it's about Midori Bishop. She's a professional violinist, and she plays in a symphony orchestra.
Oh,
And of
nice.
course, she solves murders involving the orchestra. And then I have the Pancake House Mystery Series, which is my longest running one. And the first book is The Crepes of Wrath. I don't have a paperback to show you because the first 3 books are only in ebook and audio. And then number 4 onward is also paperback. But I've got the audio Crepes of Wrath here with
Yeah.
Flapjack the Cat. And that series is set on the Olympic Peninsula in the fictional town of Wildwood Cove. And Marley McKinney, the main character, moves from Seattle and takes over her grandmother's cousin's pancake house, seaside pancake house. So that one has been going on for a while, and the 8th book just came out in August. That was A Wrinkle in Time. Then I have the Literary Pub Mystery series. That one, the 5th book, is coming out November 30th. And that one starts with Wine and Punishment.
Yes.
And the main character, Sadie, she owns a literary pub in Shady Creek, Vermont. And the pub is in an old renovated grist mill. And she serves literary themed food and drinks. And she hosts book clubs at her pub and solves murders, of course.
Yes.
So those are my 3 series.
The 2 series, that the Pancake and the Literary Pub, and I don't know as much about your first one that you were talking about,
Yeah.
but I got to tell you, they have some of the best cozy titles.
Thank you.
I mean, I love the punny titles, but I really like the ones that are like play on different things. So I love both of your titles. They're great.
Thank you. I have fun brainstorming long lists of titles. So
Yeah, absolutely. So the one that takes place in Vermont, I know you live in British Columbia. Did you do research for that? Are you familiar with Vermont?
I've never actually been to Vermont. So I just really wanted to set a cozy series there because it seemed like a cozy place with the fall
Yes.
colors. And that's why the first book, Wine and Punishment, is set in the fall and it has a harvest festival. And I just wanted all the colorful leaves and all that sort of thing, and the covered bridges. And so basically I did some research for Vermont and I tried to read several books set there to get an idea of how things are. So hopefully I haven't made too many big mistakes.
No, and
But
it feels like you know Vermont, so that's really cool.
okay, good.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I really like the literary pub series. I enjoy it a lot.
Thank you.
So, did you always want to be a writer?
I think yes, off and on. Even when I was little, I would try writing things and I kind of dreamed of being a writer. And then as I got older, I guess I didn't really believe that was a realistic thing. So I sort of went in another direction. And then when I was in my 20s, I started writing more seriously. I was writing actually television scripts at the time.
Oh,
I
okay.
sort of created my own show and was writing TV scripts for that. Um, and then I was going to law school.
Oh,
And
wow.
partway through law school, I was like, okay, I don't want to. I liked law school, but I knew partway through that I didn't want to practice as a lawyer and that I really, really wanted to be a writer. So then I started writing books because I kind of got stuck on one of my scripts. And I was like, well, if I write a book, maybe I'll be able to get to know the characters more in depth. And so then I wrote one of my scripts as a book. And then I kind of wanted to write another book. And at that time, it was science fiction and fantasy.
Oh, okay.
But my favorite genre to read has always been mysteries. And I told myself I didn't think I was clever enough to come up with all the clues and red herrings and stuff, but it got to the point where I was like, I really, really want to write a cozy. And I was like, what does it matter if it's terrible? Because I don't have to show anyone, right? So that was actually Dead Ringer, my first cozy mystery, and that's the one that got me my agent and my first book deal. So it kind of felt like that was what I was meant to be doing once I wrote the cozy mystery. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Hello, Bookster. She said Vermont is the perfect cozy setting. It really is. It really, really is. Anything in the Northeast to me seems like it'd be a perfect Northeast of the United States. Would be a perfect setting for,
I really enjoy reading ones set in like New England area and
me too.
Coast as well too. So
yeah. So when you write, do you outline? Are you a pantser? What is your kind of process?
I kind of fall in the middle because I started out when I was writing my science fiction and fantasy as a pantser, and it was not good. I would also jump around. I would like write the scene that I was most inspired about, and then it would be holes, and then I try to fit the pieces together, and sometimes they just don't fit together, and so it was a bit of a disaster. So now I come up with the basics before I start. I need direction. I think that's the thing. So I come up with the killer and the motive and the how they do it, and a few other suspects and things like that. And I'll outline about 2 to 3 chapters at a time, and then I have to stop and see where things are because I always will veer off a bit. Things come up that you don't expect, so I sort of leave room for that, but also give myself direction. And I have been known to change my mind about the killer partway through. So even if I have it planned in from the start, sometimes it turns out that it's way, way too obvious who the killer is. So then I'll change it. Or one time I started liking the killer too much, so I changed it to a different person.
Yeah. And I've said this a lot in interviews. The people that are lean towards pantser or the in between, I feel like I really can tell because it flows very organically. Like when people tell me things like you said, like, I didn't realize the murder was going to change because of this, that, or the other, like you were saying. I feel like it feels like it flows a lot better than something that maybe is a little more strictly outlined. Right. And sometimes I don't know what authors do, but I've just noticed that the authors that tell me what you're saying, I really like their writing style. And I think it's just because I feel like it flows more naturally when people are like, I just let the characters do what they want.
Sometimes they surprise me. What was it? Was it my last book? I think it was the one that came out last year, The Malt in Our Stars. One of the characters suddenly popped out and said something. I was like, whoa, I didn't think we were going to say something like that till the next book, but okay, we'll go with that.
That's funny. That's funny. Do you try to stick with a certain writing schedule or?
Yes, I do. I kind of need my routine. So I work from home, which is convenient. So I do my day job work in the morning, and then I try to write in the afternoons. And then usually on Saturdays, I'll write a bit too in the morning.
Yeah. I think that I would probably have to, because you guys write incredibly fast. Or me, I'm not a writer in any way. I mean, and I don't want to be. I'm purely meant to be reading. But when people tell me that they write a book in 6 weeks' time, even if it's a draft, I'm like, that's incredible to me.
Yeah, I can't write that fast. I'm 12 weeks mostly, which is a lot faster than I used to be. I don't feel like I'm a fast writer, but I think that's because I have friends who can write a book in 4 to 6 weeks. And I can't do that.
Even 3 months seems crazy to me to write an entire book, or whatever it is. I mean, probably because I think that it would take me years and years, and I don't have any plans nor desires to, but I'm just saying, like, so it's really
some people spend years writing a book.
Yeah.
But the thing with cozies being series, and you usually have to put, like 2 out per year usually in a series. So you kind of have to learn, I guess, to get faster.
Yeah, that's a good point. Bookster said that's awesome. I think that is neat that they speak to you. Love that. Yeah. I think it's fun when you guys just let the characters kind of, take over the reins a little bit. So when you decided to write your first series, you were working full time doing something, and then you just mentioned, so you still work full time and write?
I work part-time actually, so day
Even
job in the
that.
morning. It still can be. I don't know how people work full-time and have kids and write as well.
Yeah,
I don't know. They're like superhuman or something, but
maybe.
because even sometimes juggling what I do is quite a lot. So, but
I would.
I love it. So I would like to write full-time one day, but you know, hopefully.
So the Pancake House did the last one come out? The one that came out, was that the last in the series? I don't know why I thought I heard that. I might be thinking
Yeah,
something.
no, you're right. You're right. It's number 8, and it's the final one in the series, officially, anyways. Um, I did sort of ask on my Facebook page recently if anyone would be interested in me self-publishing like novellas, so a little
Yeah.
bit shorter. Um, and people said yes. So I'm considering it. It's mostly a time thing because I have other books I have to write, but I would like to keep going in some capacity because I love those characters and I've been writing them for years now, so it's kind of hard to let them go. And I thought I'd left the characters in a good spot because I kind of knew it was probably the final book, so I tried to leave the characters in a good place. But then people were like, "You can't leave us hanging," and I'm like, "I didn't know I did." Sorry.
And even if it's not hanging, I feel like it's just, I want to see more of the characters.
Yeah, I
And
think they
like
wanted to know.
I get
Yeah,
sad when series end, you
yeah.
know?
I get very emotionally invested in series.
Yes.
So when they're sort of cut short, especially when character arcs haven't finished, it's painful.
Yeah, and I'm very character driven,
Yeah, me too.
in the way I read. So yeah, for sure. So when you say other books to write, you have the literary pub series, obviously, and
Yes.
then are you in the works for other cozies that may be happening in the horizon?
Um, what can I say about this? Let's just say I hope that I can tell you more about that soon.
Excellent. Excellent. That makes me very, very happy. Is the literary pub slated for I know that book 4 comes out, you said November, December. What is it?
Yeah, November 30th, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
Number 5 is next year, probably next
yes.
November. Yeah. And then that's the final one on my contract, but I'll come up with other ideas and we'll pitch them to the publisher and see if they'll let me write some more. Hopefully.
Yay. That's awesome. That's really cool. So, do you read a lot of cozies?
Oh yeah.
Do
I
you?
yeah, I love cozies. Um, I read mostly cozy mysteries. I do like other genres as well, but that's my main genre, and I have several series that I am very, very into. So yeah, I love cozies. I get very attached to them. So
Yeah, me too. And that's mainly all I read. I do read some romance and some women's fiction type of stuff too,
yeah,
but I'm almost all
yeah.
almost all cozies. I love them.
I
That's really
know.
cool. I always think it's fun when authors read them. Sometimes um a lot of them do, but they're like, well, I try not to read them now that I write them because I don't want.
Yeah, yeah. No, I can't really live without reading cozies. So, because I was a cozy mystery reader first, and that's what made me want to write them because I love them so much. So,
Oh, that's really cool. Um, do you have favorites?
yeah, I do have favorites. Um, so Jodie Holford, I'm friends with her too. So, but it's not just because she's my friend. I love her series, the Britain Bay Mysteries, and she's also got a new series starting that I really enjoy. Sophie Kelly's Magical Cats series. I love that. Bree Baker's Seaside Cafe.
Yeah.
Those are so good. I was really sad that there hasn't been another book from Christian Bretcher for the Nantucket Candlemakers. I was really, really into that, so I don't know what's happening with that one, but I love that series. I know there's others too, but I'm sort of drawing a blank. But those are some of my top favorites for sure.
Yeah. Um, Bree Baker, writes under like several names.
Yeah.
Have you read the Christmas Tree Farm that she writes?
Oh,
as
yeah.
Jennifer
I
Ross?
love those. I'm
Those
going to
are
buy
some of my
the new
favorites.
one.
I love them.
Yeah, I'm so excited. There's another one coming out. And
Like
also
this.
her, the cider shop one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just read the second one and I got the third one. I bought it. It's on its way to me. So
I just read the third one like 2 days ago.
oh, really?
Yeah, of the cider shop.
Yeah.
And the Christmas Tree Farm, I've made kind of a buddy read to read it in December, but like
Okay.
I've been anticipating it for months and months and months, and
Yeah.
it sat on NetGalley, so I just don't know if I can hold out for 2 more months. But I love the Christmas Tree Farm series.
Yeah,
and
I think I'm
like
going to start from the beginning again because it's been a while since the last one. So
yeah,
start and reread them both.
And so in real life, do you think that you would make a good sleuth yourself?
No.
Because, no
well,
hesitation.
Because I don't have the right personality. I'm very curious, and like unsolved mysteries drive me nuts, which is usually how it is for my main characters. When you watch those shows on TV, it's like the true mysteries, but then they don't. You watch the show and it gets to end, and it's like unsolved, and I'm like, what do you mean? It drives me nuts. But I'm really, really shy, so I won't go asking people questions, and I won't go like poking into their business. So in that sense, that wouldn't work too well. So unless I'm like working behind the scenes in some way, I definitely would not get very far.
Yeah. So you're probably observant enough. It's just the
Probably
other
I just won't talk to people.
I'm just too much of a scaredy cat. Like I'm like,
that too, yeah. I would
like,
never go into that scary house or anything like that. No way.
Yeah.
No.
Me neither. Like, there's people that do that for a living, and let's let them do that.
Exactly.
I'm also not observant enough. I feel like I am, but then I never solve the mystery and even in cozies. You could put a neon sign above the killer's head and I might not recognize it. I don't know. That's never happened with a neon sign, so I'm not sure. I never, even when we have a cozy mystery Discord group and people are like, oh, that one was obvious. I'm like, was it? Never figure it out.
Sometimes I can solve them when I'm reading the book, but in real life, I've found I'd make a terrible witness. Like if something happens and I try to remember what somebody was wearing or something, and it was all something that happened very fast, I just start getting muddled, and it's really hard to remember. And there was this one sort of unfortunate incident when I was visiting my sister in Vancouver, and we had heard gunshots one night. We were standing outside her apartment, and it's funny how we went inside and called the police, but how so quickly it almost becomes hard to remember what exactly happened, how many shots did we hear exactly. It just gets too muddled in my head right away when something happens sort of in a high intensity situation. So I wouldn't be a very good witness.
And I think that's almost everybody, because the cops will say that, like,
yeah,
that like almost 70% is accurate, but then 30%, even if you just saw it, like, they bank on that a little bit because it's just human response to kind of maybe, I don't know, fill in your own blanks or what the case is.
Yeah, I know they say
so intense that,
eyewitness testimony is not the most reliable thing. So.
Right. Yeah. I clearly wouldn't, because I never, I clearly wouldn't. And again, I'm too scared. Like I'm just,
me too.
It was a quick no. I was like, do you think you make good sleuth? No. I am the same way. Definitely not sleuth material.
Yeah.
Hello, Cozy Reads Mystery. So Cozy Reads Mystery hosts the Killing Time with Cozy's Discord group with me.
Okay.
And then, or not the Discord she runs. Thank you, Cozy. She hosts the live Saturdays with me. We do scavenger hunts where we pick themes and read whatever from our own TBR. So like next Saturday, our theme is fall or Halloween. Our first scavenger hunt pick was like a dog on the cover. And so then everybody could read what they, what. She reads exclusively cozy mysteries. And she'll probably tell you this, but I think the Pancake House is one of her favorites.
Oh, really? Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. Hello, Melanie. It's good to see you. If you have any questions, let us know. Yep, see, I love the Pancake House series. Waiting to read the latest book because I don't want it to end.
Oh, thank you. Well, maybe I would like to write novellas to continue it, so hopefully we'll see.
That would be awesome. That would be really great. It's such just everything about it. I like the feel of it. I like the location. I really enjoy that series. So I think novellas would be really fun.
Yeah, I've never self-published anything, so that's a bit intimidating, but hopefully it'll work out.
Yeah. I think self-publishing has come so far.
Yeah.
Even in the way it's looked at, I think, and I don't, for a lot of years, and I feel like fairly recently, it was always looked at like it was because people couldn't get a regular publisher or whatever. Yeah. And I don't think that's the case at all anymore.
No, definitely not. And I have friends who are indie authors, and so they can give me advice and such, and definitely they're very talented. So it's more that they want to control things themselves and to do it their own way. So
absolutely, I think it's way more moved into that. And I read a lot of like KU, and some of them, I mean, they're just incredible. So I think it just gives them, like you said, just more control over everything.
Yeah.
Which leads me to my next question. I know you said you have fun with the titles. Do you have do you come up with your titles? Do you have a lot of control over the titles and covers of your books? Some people say, I think it depends on maybe the agent or the publisher. I don't know.
Publisher. Yeah. Titles, I've come up with most of them myself.
They're amazing.
Thank you. I think with the Pancake House series, a couple of them were from my editor at the time, because we would brainstorm together, and some of hers I liked as well. I think I want to say For Whom the Bread Rolls might have been one of her ideas. The first, my Music Lovers series, they were all mine, but the third book, occasionally I have to change it. So I'll start with one that I use when I'm writing, and then they'll say, well, we don't really want to use that one for whatever reason. They don't always say what the reason is. Do you have others? And then usually I have a long list, so it's easy. I'll be like, okay, well, here's my ideas, and I send them a list, and then they choose their own. Wine and Punishment was actually originally called Tequila Mockingbird.
Oh.
But there's a really popular cocktail recipe book called Tequila Mockingbird, and they had asked if we could not use that title, just to sort of not step on their toes. And so we were quite sure we changed it to Wine and Punishment. I mean, you can't copyright a title, but you don't want to upset anybody. So so I try to stay away from ones that they've used already with that series. But yeah, so I still have a few ideas.
Yeah, well, they're super cute.
Thank
and
you.
Cozy said, and then you can have a really long standing series like Tanya Kappa's Campers and Criminals if you self-publish.
Yeah, that is the thing. Because some series get cut off way too short. Like I was saying, I get emotionally attached, and it's really hard. So yeah, you can have more control over that. So keep it going as long as you want, really.
Yes, and I think that like I don't know if they have their own schedule, but they can write as fast as they want to too. I mean, if you wanted to write faster than what the 2 books, because some of those self-publishing series that I know of, I know like, Kathy Daly and the Camper and Criminals. I mean, some of them put out, I can't believe how many books a year. And so I don't know if they work at their own pace so that, I know the Malt in Our Stars is hilarious. It is.
Thank you.
They're some of the best titles. They really are. It's hilarious. So when you're reading other people's cozies, do you usually figure out the killer? I was saying I don't. Do you usually figure it?
Sometimes, but a lot of the time, no. So it just depends. Sometimes I think, okay, I really think this is the killer, but I hope it's not, because I really want the writer to surprise me. And sometimes they do, but sometimes they do get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes mystery writers will say, once I started writing myself, people don't want to watch TV with me or, anything like that, as far as like murder mysteries, because
Right. Yeah.
within the first few minutes they know. And I'm like, that's pretty incredible, because yeah, that's so not me. When you are writing your series, have any of the characters in the series, and you can be vague, but are any of them based on real people, or have you ever wrote like a victim as a real person just because you're like, oh, I'll show them?
No, I actually haven't done that. I know a lot of writers do. I actually try to sort of stay away from basing my characters on real people. But sometimes I have occasionally named a character after someone. I haven't even done that very much, but I did in my literary pub series, and I can't remember which book they introduced, but they're sort of a minor characters in the town. They run the winery, a mother and daughter, and that's named after my friend and her daughter. So what I have done a lot of, though, is taken ideas from small town life. So I grew up in Vancouver, the city. So I think there are a lot of things in my cozies that would not be there if I hadn't moved to a small town where I am now, because there's just things that go on in small towns.
Oh yeah.
that you just don't happen in the city. And a lot of stories I've heard. I got a lot of stories from my hairdresser.
Yeah.
Things that people do. Things like, I think it was in For Whom the Bread Rolls. They were having a flower show, and the one lady was stealing roses out of another lady's garden to enter in the show. That I got that from, because there was the people who kept stealing flowers from my hairdresser's garden. And even when he caught them on video surveillance, they didn't care.
It is true, this stuff.
Things like that. And the Harvest Festival with the pumpkin catapult competition, my town does that. So things like that are very much from my small town experiences.
Yeah. And, people, it's funny because I grew up in a small town as well, very, very small. And it was an Amish community. So very, very kind of small town. A lot of people don't have running water, electricity, well, the Amish obviously don't. So, and a lot of people that will read cozy mysteries that maybe didn't, they'll be like, oh, I don't know, like church picnic, and they'll talk about how cutthroat the competition is in the book. And they're like, that would never, I'm like, oh yes. I'm like, you've never been in a bake-off in a small town then, because believe me, these church ladies are into it. They are in it to win it, man. I mean, it's just little stuff like that. Or like you're talking about. And if you want to know anything, you go to the hairdresser, guaranteed.
Yeah.
It's, stuff like that is totally true. It's so funny.
That's why in the literary pub series, Sadie's aunt is the salon owner. So that's why she can get a lot of information through her, because she hears everything. If she cuts their hair, she knows about their life. So
everything. Yes, absolutely. That's funny. Hello, Storm. Spotty signal, but wanted to come in and say hi. Well, glad you did. Hello. I don't know if you're still with us, but thank you for stopping by. She reads a lot of cozy mysteries herself. And she has a YouTube channel as well. That's really awesome that you stopped by, Storm. Thank you. If you were, I always should I say this, but I'm just saying, hypothetically, if you were murdered, who would you want detective wise to solve your crime? Anybody? TV detective, book detective.
That's a good one.
Who would you want on your case, or feel like would really fight for your justice?
I have several favorites. I mean, Jessica Fletcher is always reliable in that way. I love the duo of Professor Amy Winslow and Detective Burke from Mystery 101 on Hallmark.
Oh,
I
okay.
love that duo because it's always like has some sort of literary tie-in too. Not that my death would necessarily have any literary tie-in, but you never know. So, and I love Nancy Drew as well. So those are some of my favorites.
Yeah. I use Murder She Wrote as an example a lot because I feel like cozy mysteries are really popular within the people that read them, but then a lot of people don't know what they are. And
Exactly. Yeah.
so I use Murder She Wrote a lot as an example of, and she even has like the written series, that
Yeah.
Donald Bain has done for years. So I think that's a really good example. I often wonder, I'm like, how has the FBI not come in and like checked out Cabot Cove to see what is
Yeah.
going on with this murders in a small town? But
Yeah.
suspend disbelief. Absolutely.
And I think with that show, like my favorite ones are the ones in Cabot Cove
Me
because those
too.
are the coziest, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, Cozy wants to know. I kind of asked her this, Cozy, but we can ask her a second time because maybe, you get more out. No, I'm just kidding. Are you working on a new series ideas?
Okay. Yes. And I hope I can tell you more about that soon. And that's about all I can say at the moment. But yes, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. So I'm very
Excellent.
excited. Yeah.
Yes. I'm when new series come out, it's like my favorite thing because it feels like you never know if it's going to be the start of a like favorite series for you.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I love reading starting new series. Some people have come in. So we kind of talked a little bit about this too. What are some of your favorite cozy mystery authors?
I don't mind talking about it again. My favorite topic. So I think I mentioned Sophie Kelly
Mhm.
and Bree Baker, Jodie Holford, and I know I'm missing others, but I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. Oh, the By the Sea
Oh yeah.
mysteries. Those are really good. Kathleen Bridge, I think.
I was thinking of somebody else. I was thinking
Okay.
Vicky Delaney.
Um, Vicky Delaney is Eva Gates, right, as well?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
The Lighthouse Library.
Yes, those are really good. I haven't read her other series yet, but I think I bought the first one of her other series. So yeah, I love that series. There was another series set on the Outer Banks as well. I seem to really love cozy mystery set on the Outer Banks. Jim and Joyce Levine, Missing Pieces. That's what I really like those as well. So those are some of them, but I mean, I could probably go on forever if I wasn't drawing a blank because I read a lot of cozies. But and I have to say that actually it's the series that got me into the sort of modern day cozies because I always used to read Agatha Christie, but then the one that really got me hooked on the modern cozies was Sheila Connolly's Orchard Mystery. That was the first sort of modern cozy that I read and went from there.
Yeah, and I just saw so she passed away, I think it was 2020.
Yeah,
I know it was I feel like the last 2 years have like felt like dog years, like 8 years have really passed
yeah,
and
yeah.
and I think a lot of people feel that way. So it was really hard, but it was sometime during that time period since that she passed away. But I saw recently a book of hers come out, and I was like, oh, maybe she finished it, or somebody's ghost
Yeah,
writing or something. And I don't know if they're going to continue, but her daughter,
yeah,
um,
that's what I heard.
yeah. So I don't know if she's taking over the series or just wanted to finish one up, but I thought that was really really cool because
Yeah, yeah,
a lot of people. She had a lot of good series.
yeah. She was quite prolific. So
So you said books or Lighthouse Library series by Eva Gates, which is obviously Vicky Delaney, and I love that series. But I have to recommend just because it's that time of year, one of my favorite series of all time by Vicky Delaney. She writes the year-round Christmas series.
okay, actually, I
And
just ordered the first one.
okay,
It's on its way to me.
yes, yes. Well, it's the perfect time of year. It's so much fun. And
Okay,
talk
good.
about like playing off of puns. Like everything is very, the main character's named Mary, but it's spelled like Merry Christmas. And her
Okay.
sisters like are Carol and Eve. It's just, it's so much fun. So I
Oh,
totally recommend one.
that reminds me of another series that I love that I forgot to mention. Lynn Cahoon's Tourist Trap. I love that series so much.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
trying to pace myself so I don't read through them all, but yeah, that's one of my favorites.
A lot of people. I'm in the middle of the Tourist Trap, but I know it's a lot. I know Storm, it's one of her favorites, and I know Cozy really likes the Tourist Trap. I think everything I've read by Lynn Cahoon, and she's one that writes so fast. Her new Kitchen Witch series is really, really fun.
Oh, okay.
And
tried that one.
I also read, what was the other one? Farm to Fork or Farm to Trouble or Farm to Stable, or something like that. No, it's no problem that you came in a bit late. Since I asked her already, I was like, that's all. No problem, Melanie. I want to try By the Bay series. Awesome.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I would have to live like 5 lifetimes over to read all my TBR. Are you that way?
Yeah, and I see like all these other series people are talking about. I'm like, oh, I want to try that one and that one and that one. But, you know, you can only read so much. But also, like, when I start buying cozies, it can get a little out of control at times. Like I have something like 3 parcels on the way to me right now full of cozy mysteries. And a couple other things as well. But yeah, so especially since the pandemic, I haven't been getting books out of the library as much. Although I finally bought myself a Kobo so I could check out books, because in Canada you need a Kobo, I think. Anyways, so I specifically bought that so I could check out ebooks from the library so I could read more cozies and other things. So, yeah, no, I love them so much.
I do too. And on my channel, I do a spotlighting cozy series. And so I take different themes and I kind of just talk about all the different series out there. So like right now I'm doing Halloween stuff. So I did witches and now I'm working on ghosts, and my own TBR has gotten so out of control since I started that series. And you were just talking about Joyce and Jim Levine.
Yeah.
They had one, and I never heard about this one, but they have a ghost series that's about she's a taxi driver for the dead.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard of that one.
I hadn't heard of that, but it sounds super fun. It's like, it's set in Nashville. I was just doing some videos this morning, filming some videos this morning, and I had never heard that. I'm like, that sounds like so much fun. Every time I do one, I add almost every book to my TBR.
Oh, now I keep thinking of more that I love. Duffy Brown. She's hilarious. Her consignment shop series. That's so much fun. And she had another one, the Psychopath Mysteries, which has only been, I think, 3 books. I'm really hoping she's writing more. But I don't know. But I hope so. It's so good.
Yeah, there's just so many. I agree with you. I always think of more, along the way. Melanie said, I'm currently working my way through the Orchard Mystery series and loving them. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got one left.
Are you a binge reader, or do you like to bounce to different series?
I like to bounce to different ones because I don't really like to catch up to the author. Because if you read the last one and it's going to be like a year till the next one comes out, that can be painful. So it's like with the Tourist Trap ones, I'm just trying to read one every like 3 months or so I don't get to the end. So I'll try to mix them up, skip around to different ones.
Yeah. I like to do that too, partly too because I don't want to, not that I ever have, but I don't want to burn myself out on something, reading it, all in order. And I'm kind of like Cozy mentioned, like when I know a series is ending, I'll sit on the last book for a very long time, because then it feels like it hasn't ended in my mind.
Exactly.
I know that's not true.
No.
But psychologically, it helps me through the pain of a series ending, because I get when you're a character-driven reader, you get so attached to the characters. Yeah. The mystery is fun, but it's secondary to me, especially because I can't ever figure it out. So it's, I'm there for the town. I'm there for the, salon visits and the gossip and the,
That's what takes me back to a series for sure.
Yeah. So I always ask this question. If Hallmark called you and said, hey, we want to make Pancake House literary pub, a series, movies, whatever, TV show, I don't know, whatever. Who would you want to play Marley? Who would you want to play Sadie? Do you have anything in your mind that you picture when you're writing those?
Oh, wow. Well, first of all, if Hallmark called me, I'd probably die of happiness. So
Right,
that's what
right.
I want so badly. I love their
Yep.
mysteries. That would be a dream come true. Um, I don't know about who I'd want to play them, though. I'm not really good at coming up with, actors' names out of the blue. So, but I would definitely want them to make my books into movies.
Right? They used to they like started doing that quite a bit, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's so much fun. That's such a cool idea." I feel like at some point you should think it out and like have it by your phone because you need to be ready just in case they call.
Yeah,
Like,
there was a guy from he works, I don't know if he's a producer or something. He has some connection to Hallmark and was looking for new projects for Hallmark. So I was talking to my agent. It's like, oh, should we, pitch to him? And she's like, well, I know he's not looking for culinary ones right now. So I was like, darn.
yeah.
So, but who
Well, the
knows?
literary pub has other elements to it. You could,
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So but yeah. Ooh, it's so much fun to think of them starting because I love when they do the series and from
Yeah.
books and stuff.
Yeah.
Even their like Debbie Maycomer, Mrs. Miracle, and all of those, I just love.
Yeah, I love Hallmark.
Me too. Me too. It's especially during any time of year I'll watch Hallmark anytime. But
I actually wrote a Christmas Hallmark style script just for fun because I love it so much.
Oh, that's so cool.
I wanted to get back to script writing a bit, so that's what I did.
And so when you say script writing, you used to write for TV shows?
Well, I used to write my own. Like nothing ever happened with them.
Oh, that's
So I just sort of like made up my own series like I would with a book series and wrote several episodes. But I had no idea how to break into the film industry, which is also partly why I started writing books, because that seemed a little easier to figure out, especially for someone shy. So yeah, and I didn't write any scripts for several years then once I was publishing books, but it was fun to get back to it. So I'm hoping I can do more of that as well. But I still don't know how to break into the film industry. So.
You should turn them into plays.
Plays? Yeah. I don't even know how to write a play script.
Well, do you think I don't know that it would be that much different from a TV show script,
maybe
right?
not, but I think they have a little bit different formatting. So,
maybe.
But I'm not positive. Don't really know.
It's your script. You can write it how you want, right? I don't think it works that way, but
not if you want to sell it. But if you want to just do it for yourself, yes, you can do whatever you want.
True. So we talked about maybe interested in self-publishing, and especially with some of the novellas of the Pancake House, the literary pub. You know that you have one more book coming out after book 5, which will be next year.
Yes.
And then hopefully those just continue, right? We want them to.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Okay.
I'll pitch new ideas probably in the new year or something. Keep my fingers crossed. So
awesome. And then I know that there's new stuff kind of in the mix that you can't tell us about, which I have to ask. Okay. Are any of the ideas, people already know what I'm going to say, by the way, just telling you now, are any of the ideas, just blink twice if I'm anywhere close. Because I understand you can't say anything. Close to like an idea of like an amusement park or like a traveling carnival.
No.
I saw her blink. What?
Sorry.
I think it's a wide open field if you ever want to write an amusement park cozy or a traveling carnival cozy. Just saying, there's a lot of ways to kill people in an amusement park.
Well, I do have my book that's coming out in November has a Renaissance fair and circus that comes to town. So
that's amazing.
Probably the closest I've come to that.
Oh, that's fun. That's really, really fun. That's
There's
awesome.
an illusionist and a fortune teller and jugglers and things like that. So
Excellent. Excellent. That's awesome. That's really
that
great.
I actually took me a little longer to write that one because I kept having to stop and look up like old English, like how people speak at Ren fairs and stuff, and all their insults and different things like that. Took a little more research.
Oh, that's fun. Because he said that's fun. Lee Hollis used to write TV scripts. You can try to ask him.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yes, I interviewed him multiple months ago now, and it's a brother and sister writing team. You probably know that, but
they're hilarious.
He was the one that came on, Rick, and his first job was writing for the Golden Girls, which is like one of my all-time favorite TV shows ever. So I was so like, yeah, it was a little bit of a fangirl moment, I think. Holly was like, what is this? Because I was so excited when I found that out.
I think Ellen Byron used to
she did.
To film and television,
Yeah. There's another fun series, her Cajun Country series.
Right, yeah. And she's got a new one out too, I think, under a different name.
Maria
DeMarco or something?
Yes. Yeah. It's a catering company.
Yeah. I haven't read it yet. But.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you read any historical cozies?
Not really. I mean, I probably have at some point, but I gravitate to the contemporary ones. Usually not paranormal, but I mean, the Magical Cats has magical cats, so obviously I'm not completely opposed to anything magical, but generally, just mostly contemporary.
I'm the exact same way. I say that I can take paranormal if it's a light sprinkling, like, you know, but if it gets too much into craziness, it's just, I'm glad other people love it. It's just not, it's not my cup of tea, I guess.
Yeah.
When you write and you pick your locations, I know we talked about Vermont and all that stuff. Are your upcoming things going to be in, you probably can't tell us this. I know.
Different place?
Yeah.
Let's just say I'm enjoying sticking with Vermont for the moment. In the future, I would love it if I could set one in British Columbia sometime. I did manage to get my first series set in Vancouver, but after that I was told it's better. Actually, the Pancake House series originally was set on Vancouver Island, British Columbia. The area is inspired by the place I used to go for summer holidays. And I was told, though, that it would be easier to sell if it's set in the US because most of the readers are in the US, the publishers are in the US. So I was told it would be easier to sell if it was set in the US. So I sort of nudged it south from Vancouver Island to the Olympic Peninsula because at least, the environment's pretty similar. It's just a little bit south. It's pretty close. And so in that sense, it's still kind of familiar. But it would be nice if I could have another one in maybe small town, BC. That would be fun. But yeah, Vermont feels very cozy to me. So even though I haven't been there.
It does. No, it does. I haven't been there either, but it anywhere in the Northeast to me feels like it's quintessential cozy.
Yeah. I was told by someone, a reader from New England, that I described a New England winter well in An Ale of Two Cities. So I was like, okay, good, because I've never been there. But I was based on winter where I'm living now, which is definitely much more wintry than Vancouver. We get a lot more snow and a lot colder. So I was able to draw on that. I actually like winter, so I'm a bit weird. Yeah, I love snow, snowshoeing. So that's why I put all that in An Ale of Two Cities. So I love all that stuff.
I did not know what snowshoeing was until I read that book.
I was told that by a reader in Germany too. I was so shocked. But I guess if you're from a place that doesn't get snow.
Well, I grew up in Illinois, and we did get snow, but
in the city, or were you in the city or in?
No. I was in the country. It's a very small town in the country, but but even there, like we got a lot of snow, but even in the cities in Illinois, there wasn't a like big ski lodges or big places where
Okay.
people did, kind of skiing
Yeah.
activities or snowboarding or any of those things. But like I had no idea what snowshoeing was until I read your book. I was like,
Okay.
so I learned something. It was really
Yeah.
cool.
Okay. Yeah. No, that surprised me when someone told me that. I was like, oh, because it just for me, it's something that's always, you know, even in Vancouver where it doesn't snow that much. We have the North Shore Mountains where it doesn't take that long to get up there, and even as school kids, we are taken up there. Or you go skiing or you go snowshoeing. So it's just very much part of your life here. Yeah, I love snowshoeing. I go out and over the hay fields, and my dog just would love it because then he just runs free. Not so much now because he's old and mostly blind, but he
Oh.
yeah, he loves it. So, but
What
he's
kind of
still
dog do you have? I have to ask.
he's an English Springer Spaniel.
Oh,
And he's wonderful. He just turned 12, so yeah, he's mostly blind. But last year in September, he tore his cruciate ligament in his knee, and that was pretty bad. So I was worried we were going to lose him last year, but he had his surgery, and he's still here, and he's happy. So yeah, we're having fun, and he loves swimming in the summer, so we do that. I haven't put him in any of my books yet, though. One day I'm going to have a Springer Spaniel.
you should.
Because I have other of the animals in my books are based on my animals. There's a dog in the Music Lovers Mysteries who's based on my Collie Malamute cross that I had. And she was such an amazing dog. So her name was Tasha, but in the book it's Finnegan. So, and then Whimsy in the Literary Pub Mystery Series, the cat is basically my cat, Nazi.
Oh.
So he finally got on the cover. Oh, I have an advanced copy of the one coming out in November. Can you see him? I don't know. He's right there. Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
But I sent the cover designer a picture of my cat. So I was like, this is Whimsy.
Oh, cute. I love animals and cozies.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, and you can write any animal because he's so fun. Yes, you should totally write him into spaniel into it. That would be amazing.
So
you could have a love interest to the dog you already have in your series, right? Or something like that. Maybe.
Yeah.
I love that you read so many cozy mysteries, Sarah. So many cozy authors say they can't read cozies because they don't want to be influenced by their writing. Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, I get that. I do. But I find I've actually been influenced in good ways. Things that have given me ideas that I wouldn't have had before. Not like copying, but if you read something and you go, oh, and it sparks a different idea. Or characters I really love the dynamic between these characters. I want to do something like that. But when I do write it, it ends up being totally different. And I'm sure nobody would even guess that the other book inspired that, but that's the way it works for me. So yeah.
That's awesome. Melinda, hello, Melinda. She said, I'm in British Columbia and I would love to see a series from here.
Yeah,
love to read.
So my first one is in Vancouver, but yeah, I would love to do small town BC one day, hopefully. I figure now, when I was starting out, when you want to get your foot in the door, it's a little harder. You kind of have to go more with the flow. Hopefully one day I'll be able to go a little out of the mainstream and do that. So that would be nice.
I think just personally, from being a fan of yours, I think that your name is big enough that you could probably at least self-publishing kind of do it. And people be like, oh, well, we know that we like her. I think so.
Okay, well, thank you. To me, I still feel like I'm completely unknown, but I think that's just just me. But hopefully people are starting to recognize my name in the cozy
I think so.
community.
I think that's with anything. I think we're our own, worst critic. Not that you're criticizing yourself, but like, oh, nobody knows who I am. I don't think that's true at all. I think most people hear that name and know. I mean, in the cozy mystery world.
Yeah. No, exactly. I don't need to be known beyond that. I'm okay with that.
Melinda said Northern British Columbia here, and we get
Yeah.
lots of snow.
Yeah.
So
we
she
do.
knows what snowshoeing is too.
Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
not. Melanie said, I live in Ontario near, I grew up in an Amish
Okay.
community, Mennonite country, and feel like this area would be a great for cozy mystery. Any tips on writing cozies?
Yeah, sure. I will. You probably already read lots of them. That would be my first piece of advice, is to read a lot of the books in the genre that you want to write. Then you get a good feel of sort of the expectations. Not that you need to be formulaic exactly, just that readers have certain expectations, and you come up with your just think of the things that you love the most about cozies, and find a way to inject those into yours. Like if it's the coziness of the town and the people, animals, whatever, and then just try to come up with. I'd say come up with a bit of a plan, but that's for me because I don't like to have no idea. You come up with the murder basically, and once you know the things that you love the most, and you can just start building a story off of that, and hopefully it will have all the cozy flavor that you enjoy in the books you read.
Yeah, and I think that I tell people who haven't read a lot of cozies and they ask what I should read, I kind of give them almost the answer that you did, at least like think about your hobbies and your interests. Because I guarantee there's a cozy out there, unless you like amusement parks. There's no amusement park cozy. Just pointing that out. I'm just saying, just for the world. I'm just kidding. But, you can find, we were talking about that once. We're like, is there like an area of cozies that haven't been explored? Because you can find anything and everything. And I think the only thing we thought of was the amusement park, because I've been begging people to write that for years.
I wrote a book set in an amusement park once, but it's not a cozy at all. And it's never been published. It's like a dark fantasy, young adult.
I get scared, like, I mean, super duper easy. So, like, Coraline is a little past my feeling of comfortability. So,
it probably wouldn't be a good fit because it's all dead people in the amusement park.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's not that even, like, I always think, that sounds fun, but sleep is fun too. And so I try to realize that,
Yeah.
It's just, I can't. Yeah. The cozy mystery world is the best, and you're definitely no. I agree.
Thank you.
I wholeheartedly agree. Your books are now in a cart. I love to support and read locals. That's awesome.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that's great.
Such great advice. Thank you. Yeah, I agree.
Welcome. You're welcome. And also just even just being involved with the cozy mystery community is great. There's so many writers that are just wonderful people and helpful. That's what I've really found was one of the best things was when I started connecting with other cozy writers. Because when I started out, I kind of felt like I was sort of on the edge all by myself. I didn't really know anybody, and being shy, I'm just like that person standing in the corner. But then I got involved with the Cozy Mystery Crew on Facebook. I'm not a member anymore because it was just I wasn't able to keep up with things. I had too much going on. But just connecting with the other writers, and they'll help you out, give you advice all the time. So
I can't believe how kind and personable Cozy Mysteries authors are.
Yeah.
They just are so welcoming and kind. All the ones that I've had interaction with,
me
it's
too.
just incredible. Do you do any like author events? I mean, pre-COVID or conventions? Do you do like Malice or anything like that?
I've only been to one so far. I went to Left Coast Crime. 2019 because it was in Vancouver. So I thought that was a good one to start with because, being shy and all this, at least it's in my hometown, familiar territory. So I went down for that, and it was a lot of fun. The only problem is I got really, really sick after the first day.
Oh no.
I think it was something was going around because I think Libby Klein got really sick from that convention too. But before that, no, it was great, and I got to meet up with, I met Libby there. That was the first time I met her in person. The only time, really. And that's where I met Jodie Holford in person for the first time. We were good friends already, but she lives near Vancouver. So that's another British Columbia author for those interested, Jodie Holford. So it was really neat to see people in person for a change. And I was actually on a panel, which terrified me, to be honest, because, I don't like to speak in public, but it actually turned out to be a lot of fun. And so it was not scary at all, really, because everybody was so wonderful. And I know I was there with Ellen Byron. I met her there, and Leslie Karst was our moderator, and they just made it a lot of fun and not scary at all. And also, I said before I was going to this convention to my readers, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of terrified. I have to speak in front of people. And they're like, just pretend you're talking to us. I was like, okay, that's a good idea. Just talking to cozy readers.
Oh gosh, there we go. I'm so sorry. Libby Klein, I interviewed her, and you were talking about her, and I can't tell you how funny that lady is. And
she's
have you read any of the Poppy McAllister?
I read the first one. Yeah, she's hilarious, and she's also just super, just a lovely person too. So
yeah. I interviewed her, and by the end of it, I was like, I got to tell you, I know that you're, doing this writing gig, but if you ever just decide to do stand up, I would totally be there for it, because I was laughing from start to finish. Yeah. So funny. And I think that what you were saying about, you were really nervous to do the panel, but it turned out fun. I think it's because of how personable and kind, and welcoming everybody is. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, and I've been finding, even just with interviews like this, normally I would get so stressed out about them, but now I'm like, but I've discovered it's just like talking about my favorite thing with nice people. So it's really actually fun, not scary anymore. So
good. Yeah. And people give me a hard time all the time because I could talk about, but one of the reasons, and I used to make a joke out of it, kind of true. I mean, not to this extent, but I said during my very first video, I was like, well, I felt like I had to create a channel because I needed somebody to talk about books with, and particularly cozy mysteries, because when somebody asks you at the grocery store how you are and you tell them great because I just finished a cozy mystery and then go in to elaborate about Sarah Fox's literary pub, they kind of look at you like you're crazy. Like they're pulling their children away from you. They're like, well, that's not to that extent, but I know when people ask me, even my book friends, how I am, I'm not supposed to just talk about books, but that's what I want to talk about. So I was like, okay, but so it's just a way to talk about, favorite things. I love that. Cozy said, do you always have the killer plan from the beginning, or do you end up changing it as you write and develop the mystery?
I planned the killer at the beginning. I have occasionally changed the killer partway through when it wasn't working out or it was too obvious or whatever. But yes, most of the time I know from the beginning who the killer is. Or at least I think I do.
So, Melinda, I know you said the first 3, or is it the first 4?
First 3, yes, are only in ebook and audio, unfortunately. Number 4 onwards, they're available in paperback. They changed publishers after the first 3. That's why there's the difference. So yeah, it started out with Random House and then went to Kensington when I started the Literary Pub series. So yes, unfortunately, I know a lot of people are upset that there's no paperbacks for the first 3, and I'm sorry, but yeah, hopefully ebook and audio, and then number 4 onwards, paperback as well.
Cool. Well, before we wrap up, can you tell us again when the 4th Literary Pub is coming out?
Yes.
And go ahead.
Yeah, it comes out November 30th, and it's called Claret and Present Danger. And like I mentioned, there's a Renaissance Fair and Circus that comes to town.
Oh, I'm so excited about that.
there's an illusionist, Ozzy Stone, who's performing at the fair, and he and Sadie, it turns out, grew up in the same town of Knoxville, Tennessee, and so she gets free tickets to a show, and then it goes downhill from there, basically.
Oh, I'm so excited.
She's also having a Shakespeare trivia night at her pub.
Oh,
And
fun.
a costume contest, yes. So I had a lot of fun writing that one for sure.
I'm anything with a festival in it, especially like anything that you just is right at, I mean, oh, so excited about it. And I'm caught up so I can immediately read.
Okay.
So excited. And then Melinda said, can I jump in? Okay, at book 4, easy. I only read physical books.
Yes, you can. You'll miss a bit of like where the characters are coming from, but I don't think there's anything that would be totally confusing. I think I try to write it as if some of the readers will be new readers for each book, so I don't start like dropping names without explaining who they are. Like I'll just put in like a one sentence who they are, so that hopefully that will work. I think it'll be okay. You just don't know the origin of how the characters got to where they are.
And I feel like most cozies could be read as a standalone. They do enough of a recap in most cozies, like you were saying, even if it's one sentence, but you know.
And the mysteries themselves are standalone. So
for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Sarah, I had so much fun today. Thank you for joining me. It was so much fun. I really loved it.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see what the new series are. Think about the amusement park. I'll give you time. I'm just saying. I'm kidding. But yes, I really, really enjoyed it. And I'm so looking forward to book number 4. I was looking forward to book number 4 anyways. But now that I know that there's a Renaissance Festival, I'm so excited about it. That's so awesome.
Thank you very much. And thank you to everybody who dropped by.
Yes, everyone, thank you so much. It was good to see you. And again, Sarah, thank you. Have a good day, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.